This is the story of the Spirit. Rin Yamaoka was the only child of the infamous Yamaoka family. She studied at a private school in Takamatsu, which is a capital city located in Kagawa Prefecture, Japan. And no, I definitely did not Google that. Private school, as you may well know, is not cheap, and Rin's family struggled to keep up with the hefty fees associated with attending such a school. And to make matters worse, her mother would fall ill the same year. Bills started piling up. In order to assist her family in any way she could, Rin picked up a part-time shift at a local restaurant. But this barely moved the needle. Her father's attempt to lighten the load was to work double shifts in hopes of landing a promotion at the factory he worked at. This would prove to cause far more harm than good for the Yamaoka family. As the family debt grew and grew, Rin's father began to lose more and more sleep. A dark whisper would begin to keep him awake at night, constantly reminding him of the impending doom his family was about to face. His grip on reality would begin to slip away. As a final, desperate attempt to turn the tides, Rin's father would go to his superiors and literally beg for any kind of help. He asked for a raise, a vacation, a bonus, anything at all. And what was their response to his cries for help? A defective production line was costing them tons of money, and someone needed to be held accountable. Rin's father was fired after 22 years of service. The same night, Rin was on her way home, late from work. Customers at the restaurant had lingered around for a while just chatting. When she got home, her world and fate would change forever. The next part is very brutal, I'm just letting you know right now. As Rin approached the house, she heard her mother scream out. Then she bolted into the house and ran up to her parents' room. There, she would find her mother, or what's left of her. Her mom had been completely sliced up, and the bulk of her body left propped up in an unsettling position. As Rin gagged at the sight of her mother's body, she saw something out of the corner of her eye. A katana came swinging down at her. All she could do was block it with her forearm. She looked into the eyes of the attacker. Looking back at her was her father, emotionless. She cried for him to stop, but he began slashing again. Rin sprinted out of the room, slipping all over the now blood-smeared floor. And as she clinged on for dear life, Rin tried to make it away from her father as he hacked away at her. However, she would be stopped at the bottom of the stairs after being thrown through a glass partition. As she heard footsteps approach her, she was surprisingly not filled with fear of her very fast approaching death. Instead, she was filled with rage. She would not let her father get away with what he'd done to her and her mother. She would make him pay, in this life or the next. The ground shook as her father's footsteps got closer, and a dark fog slowly veiled her eyes, but it could not subdue her rage. She would not rest, not yet. The darkness whispered, promising blood and revenge. An oath was made, and Rin closed her eyes. Okay, well, that one was brutal. My very first thought is that her father should obviously be chosen by the entity as the killer, not her. But looking at the wiki page, it looks like her father was originally chosen by the entity to be the killer. It seems like he was just a pawn in order for the entity to get Rin as a killer, because it saw greater potential in her rage than her father's. But I don't know, it's still pretty goddamn sad for poor Rin. The other thing I don't quite understand is Rin's ties to the Oni. I mean, I know they're both Yamaokas. Rin Yamaoka and Oni is Kazan Yamaoka. Are they cousins? Are they twice removed? What's the deal there? I don't know. Maybe somebody could tell me in the comments. But what are your guys' thoughts? This is not the saddest story you've ever heard, or what? Anywho, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the fog.